Good day everyone. I am Mayan Alifay and I'm going to discuss about medium-term planning. Teaching is about more than just lessons. It's about planning learning. What is a medium-term plan? A medium-term plan or MTP is a sequence of work for a subject which shows what a teacher or educator is planning to teach over a period of weeks such as half term or term. Medium-term plans are for the academic term or more usually half-term, setting out what specific aspects of curriculum will be covered in a week-by-week format. It is essential for organizing different aspects of the curriculum, such as subjects, lesson plans, and daily activities. The key for teachers is to use the time frame effectively to sequence the lessons. Medium-term planning is unique in that it enables teachers, when planning a sequence of lessons around a subject area, to think about what we are teaching, why we are teaching it, when we are teaching it, and who we are teaching for. So a medium-term plan must place sequencing at its heart in order to be truly effective. It should build the knowledge and skills across a topic and relate back to prior teaching in order to form a fully cohesive unit of learning. It gives the teaching a purpose, which is what we owe the young minds we are entrusted to teach. So why medium-term planning is important? Medium-term planning is necessary for the establishment of clear and accurate awareness of the aims, goals, and objectives. Medium-term planning helps teachers to organize their knowledge of and make sophisticated judgments about the nature and structure of the subject matter and grade level. MTP establishes the learning objectives across time, as well as the key learning goals that are aimed for. It helps teachers to organize the knowledge they wish to impart and how that knowledge should be structured in order to ensure teaching is embedded in long-term memory. In order to ensure that pupils are learning with our lessons, the learning has to be planned for, in so much that we plan effectively what we are teaching. 5 A's of medium-term planning. You should consider these as both principles and steps. Principles because research and experience show that effective teaching and learning require these elements to be in place, and steps because they provide a practical set of things to do when approaching your planning. The first A is articulation. You should know you should have a clear idea of what you want your students to learn and why this is important and appropriate. Next is alignment. You should structure the learning so that the order in which students engage with new materials enables them to progress to higher levels of understanding and skills. The third one is activation. You should provide activities that support this learning. Next is assessment. You should know how you are going to assess the important things you want your students to learn. And then lastly is adoption. Along the way, you should monitor the students' progress against your intentions and update your plans to ensure they learn effectively. Medium-term planning likely to include the main learning statements from the curriculum that are expected to be covered, initial ideas for effective main teaching and learning activities, key resources for your main teaching and learning activities. So medium-term planning builds on your long-term plan and involves more detailed planning of the teaching sequence of learning statement across smaller teaching and learning periods within the year. it should be flexible. You should start with an estimate of how long you think learners will need to develop secure knowledge, understanding, and skills. And as you review and refine your medium-term plans across the course of teaching and learning period, you will need to check that you retain the breadth and depth of coverage of the curriculum statements and the balance of learning across all the curriculum areas. How are you going to write a medium-term plan? You must begin by identifying learning objectives and the goals you want your class to achieve for that term and what activities you will enable to accomplish this. You can go into detail about how these activities will help your students progress and the amount of time needed to cover each objectives. When thinking about activities, make sure you know what you are trying to achieve. Do your planned activities achieve learning outcomes? Most importantly, do your pupils understand the goals of the classroom activity? It is paramount that your pupils are engaged in the learning journey. And for this to happen, they need to understand where they are going and how what they are doing will get them there. Medium-term planning should also take into account the key skills that teachers want to be developed and embedded. It should organize knowledge and skills in such a way that we are providing maximum opportunity for pupils to effectively learn. So when creating a high-quality medium-term plan, a teacher should consider the following. The first one is, what do learners should already know? So prior learning should be taken into account. This is where the whole school long-term plan should be referred to. What skills need to be taught? So key skills should be explicitly thought about, as well as how prior skills can be built upon. What knowledge do I need to teach? What is the best order when teaching objectives? So consider how knowledge and skill can be built up logically and embedded. And then last one is, how much time is there? Have set a timetable for a specific unit, example, a half term. The key for teacher is to use the time frame effectively to sequence the lessons. So how are you going to implement a medium-term plan? It may seem like a struggle at the beginning, but implementing a medium-term plan throughout the academic year becomes easier each time. It's important to try and get the balance right between how many activities to do in the first lesson. Too few can lead the students to get distracted, while too many can get them confused. This is something which will become easier with practice. But an important thing to bear in mind as you plan your first lessons is how to pace it. Too few activities can lead pupils to seek diversion, while too many can get them confused. The transitions between classroom activities can be unstable period which will need effective orchestration. Introduce the medium-term plan to your class so they understand what the learning outcomes and goals are for that term. And the more teaching plans completed will ensure efficient and engaging learning. And thank you for listening. I hope you have learned something.